The night shift inside your brain.
Every night, something extraordinary may happen inside your head. Not dreaming, not memory formation, not the strange ability to spend 8 hours asleep and still wake up wondering why you walked into the kitchen. Something else. Something scientists somehow missed for centuries. Right now, your brain is one of the busiest places in the known universe. About 86 billion neurons are firing signals. Trillions of connections are passing information around. Your brain is using roughly 20% of your body's energy, despite making up only about 2% of your weight. It never stops working. Not when you're reading, not when you're eating, not even when you're asleep. Which creates a rather awkward problem. Every busy city produces rubbish. Every factory produces waste. Every machine creates byproducts. So what happens to the waste produced by the most complicated organ on Earth? For a surprisingly long time, nobody had a good answer. Then, scientists discovered something remarkable. Your brain appears to have its own cleaning system, and it becomes especially active while you sleep. This is the story of how researchers accidentally found what may be one of the most important systems in the human body, and why the best thing you can do for your brain tonight might be absolutely nothing at all, just sleep. To understand why this discovery was so surprising, we need to go back a little. The human body has a cleaning network called the lymphatic system. Think of it as a giant maintenance department. It helps remove waste, transports fluids, and supports the immune system. Tiny lymphatic vessels run throughout most of your body. Scientists knew this. Medical students learned this. Textbooks showed this. There was only one problem. The brain seemed to be missing from the map. Almost every organ had lymphatic drainage. The brain apparently did not, which was odd. Imagine finding a city with roads, electricity, water pipes, hospitals, airports, and schools, but no rubbish collection. You would immediately suspect somebody had forgotten to draw part of the map. For decades, scientists wondered whether that might be true for the brain. The question remained unanswered. Then, a neuroscientist named Maiken Nedergaard and her team started looking more closely. And what they found surprised almost everyone. The discovery began with experiments involving mice. Researchers injected fluorescent tracers into fluids surrounding the brain. The idea was simple. Watch where the fluid goes. Scientists expected certain patterns. What they saw instead looked like a hidden transportation network. Fluid appeared to move along channels surrounding blood vessels. It traveled deep into brain tissue. Then it carried waste products away. The system seemed organized, purposeful, almost like plumbing. The researchers eventually named it the glymphatic system. The name combines two ideas: glial cells, which are support cells in the brain, and the lymphatic system. In other words, it appeared to be a lymphatic-like cleaning network built specifically for the brain. The discovery was published in 2012 and immediately attracted attention. Not because scientists had found a new brain region, not because they discovered a new neuron, but because they had uncovered an entire housekeeping system hiding in plain sight. And things became even stranger. The researchers noticed the cleaning activities seemed to change dramatically depending on whether the animals were awake or asleep. That was unexpected. Very unexpected. When scientists studied sleeping mice, fluid moved through the brain much more efficiently. Waste products were cleared more rapidly. The cleaning system appeared significantly more active. Why? The answer sounds almost fictional. The researchers found evidence suggesting that spaces between brain cells become larger during sleep. In the mouse studies, these spaces increased by roughly 60%. That extra room appeared to allow cerebrospinal fluid to flow more freely. Imagine trying to wash mud through a crowded street market. Now imagine trying to wash it through an empty street. One is difficult. One is much easier. Sleep seemed to give the brain's cleaning fluid more room to move. And suddenly, a mystery that had puzzled scientists for generations began making sense. Sleep was not merely rest. Sleep might also be maintenance. The implications were enormous. Because if the brain clears waste during sleep, then sleep may be doing far more than helping us feel refreshed.
It may be helping the brain stay physically healthy.
One waste product quickly became the focus of attention, a protein called beta amyloid. Beta amyloid is naturally produced in the brain. Under normal circumstances, it is cleared away. However, abnormal accumulations of beta amyloid are associated with Alzheimer's disease. In the mouse studies, researchers observed that the glymphatic system helped remove beta amyloid from brain tissue. That finding generated excitement around the world. But this is where we need to be careful. Scientists did not discover that poor sleep causes Alzheimer's, nor did they prove that sleeping longer prevents dementia. The actual science is more cautious. Researchers found a plausible mechanism connecting sleep and waste clearance. They found evidence that the glymphatic system helps remove substances linked to neurodegenerative diseases, and they found that sleep appears to play an important role. But many questions remain unanswered. Science is often less dramatic than headlines. It is also more interesting, because real discoveries tend to open doors rather than close them. Since the original discovery, researchers have been investigating how the glymphatic system changes with age. This matters because aging affects nearly every biological process. Studies suggest glymphatic efficiency may decline over time. Scientists are exploring whether reduced clearance contributes to age-related brain changes. Again, the work is ongoing. Nobody has all the answers yet, but the questions are fascinating. What happens if the cleaning system slows down? Can sleep quality affect clearance efficiency? Do different sleep stages matter? Could future treatments target these pathways? Researchers around the world are trying to find out. One of the most surprising lessons from this story is how little we still know about ourselves. People sometimes imagine that modern science has already discovered everything important about the human body, as if researchers are simply polishing details around the edges. Then something like the glymphatic system appears, a finding so significant that it changes how scientists think about one of the body's most important organs. And suddenly, we are reminded that the map is not finished. There are still blank spaces, still mysteries, still hidden systems quietly doing their jobs while nobody notices. In many ways, that may be the most astonishing part of this story. Not that the brain has a cleaning system, but that we only discovered it recently. For centuries, humanity studied the brain. We dissected it, scanned it, mapped it, measured it, built entire fields of medicine around it. And yet an important maintenance system remained hidden until the 21st century. That is like discovering a secret floor inside a building after living there for hundreds of years. The brain continues to surprise us, perhaps because it is the only organ attempting to understand itself, which is a rather difficult assignment when you think about it. The brain is simultaneously the detective, the witness, and the crime scene. And sometimes it misses things, like its own cleaning crew. So tonight, when you switch off the lights and climb into bed, consider what might happen next. You will lose awareness of the outside world. Conscious thought will fade. Dreams may come and go. But beneath all of that, billions of cells will continue working. Memories will be processed. Connections will be strengthened. Signals will be reorganized. And according to one of the most intriguing discoveries in modern neuroscience, a hidden cleaning system may begin another night shift, silently washing through the most complicated object you have ever owned, your brain. The remarkable thing is that this process does not require expensive equipment. No supplements, no productivity hacks, no secret techniques sold by someone wearing an expensive watch on social media. The brain's maintenance crew asks for something much simpler, a chance to do its job. And that chance arrives every night, if you let it. If you enjoyed this strange little journey, subscribe and help us reach 1 million curious minds. There are many more weird facts hiding in plain sight, and we intend to bother all of them.